let's talk about GoTo Connect, which again is our cloud phone system. So its highlights include international calling in 52 countries. It's really easy to get started. It features, in fact, our award-winning dial plan editor. I'll be showing it shortly. It is a must-see, and this makes things like call routing, the custom call routing, an easy exercise of drag and drop, connect the dots. It almost gamifies, one of the more complex aspects of getting started, and that's custom call routing. So the point being, you don't have to be a telecom engineer or even an IT to set up custom call routing or even perform the GoTo Connect installation, right? It also features SMS, MMS messaging, and collaboration that's powered by GoToMeeting. And that's going to give you the most reliable HD audio web video experience. And of course, it also provides a mobile app as well for communications on the. So we also provide specialized integrations that are vertical specific for automotive, legal, healthcare, and more. We all know the MS Teams conversation is going to come up. So in terms of Teams, we offer both direct routing with our connector licensing, as well as our free out-of-the-box integration that is essentially, an applet running over MS Teams. So it's really not an either-or scenario with Teams. GoTo coexists with Microsoft, and we are better together with that partnership. And of course, the hot topic right now is CCaaS, and for us, it's GoTo Contact Center. Ours has the SMB in mid-market in mind, but with all the rapid product delivery, it's really evolved into a rich and robust platform, which I'll be showing you. It's baked into the soft phone, right? So it's not a separate bolt-on, and inherent with that, it's going to drive efficiency and ease of use because it's part of the telephony platform that you're already in day to day, right? It provides inbound and outbound calling. It has an outbound dialer to where you can, recapture missed calls, which might have been, lost revenue with customers calling in, and you can launch and run other campaigns like lead lists. It's multi-channel and even omni-channel now with our new caller information view. And it covers other popular features like intelligent call routing or skills-based routing, being able to co-browse, a web page together, position announcement, estimated hold time, so the caller can know what they're in for when they're calling in, those experiences you guys desire when you're calling into a contact center, right? And it even has the ever popular queue callback, offering you callback rather than waiting and sitting on hold. There's also a host of analytics available around callers, agents, and conversations. So this is all available at a fraction of the cost. We're talking less than half than some of those more, complex solutions that are running, over $100 a license. We're talking less than half. And if for some reason it doesn't meet the need, we can lean on our strategic partnership with NICE CX1. So either way, really our partners are covered. So what I want to do now is have a look-see with you, right? Let's take a look at the GoTo Connect platform. And this is just going to be high level, just to give you guys, kind of an introduction and a walkthrough so you can see it firsthand. What this is, what you're seeing right now, is our soft phone application. It's at app.goto.com. We also have a desktop application, and again, the mobile app. They're essentially one and the same, where we've achieved pretty much full feature parity. And at the top right, you see here my profile. We have active presence with your options here, whether you're available, away, or do not disturb. And we now have custom presence as well, where you can leave a message. And then you have some of the operational functionality. And if we have time, I'll touch on some of the settings there as well. And then here on the left, you have all these, essential connections, right, for, unified communications. Guess what? You can make a phone call, right? So that's good news. It looks like this. If I make a phone call, you have your dialer interface that comes up. common features here where you can mute, hold, park a call, warm transfers, and over here on the left tab, you see that there's these where you can add notes. So you can build on your contacts in your profiles, and this is also comes into play with our contact center, where the notes you add to a particular profile carry into um, pro, uh, the other channels like chat conversations, right? So then over here, as we move on, you have your messages. It supports both SMS and MMS. So you can send files. You can, as you can see here, here's a picture of my desk phone with my golden retriever as a background screensaver. This is a good opportunity to also give a plug for the hardware we sell, right? So we sell Polycom, Yealink, and Cisco. A lot of clients, as you probably recognize, have gravitated towards a soft phone way of communicating and connecting, but we still have the desk phones as well as the network equipment, the algos and the altrans. So we have an extensive distribution for hardware as well. Moving along the toolbar here, this is the meeting space. Again, it's powered by GoToMeeting. So this is not just this vanilla afterthought for collaboration. That's not intuitive. GoToMeeting has been around as long as WebEx, so you have the best in audio web video experience. It syncs with your Outlook, so you get a heads up on the players involved in your meeting, the access information. You can create personalized meeting spaces where that has your profile picture and the access information is static, or you can have scheduled meetings that has dynamic information, and that gives you a little bit more security, right? This is a great place to retrieve your past meetings, so I can go into my recordings. The recordings can be downloaded. It includes the archived canned audio web video, including webcams. It has transcription, right? So it gives you great permanent record of the full meeting as well as the attendee detail. This is a great part of it because it's a full meeting hub, as we call it. And then we go down to through voicemails. Obviously, there's voicemails available. I like having voicemail to email, where I have a record in my email of the file of the recorded voicemail, as well as the transcription. You can also retrieve your voicemails here. Contacts is something we've recently built out as well. It's not just a name and number anymore. You can add more to it, and you can do it while you're on the call, as I demonstrated, where you can add something like their website and ongoing notes. Great example in the contact center environment is maybe disposition and date and timestamps of those conversations and how that call went. And then other things like activity. Then we get into, the contact center. I'm going to tack that in the end to make sure I leave time for everything we want to include in today's session, as well as the analytics. They're part of it. Down here, I want you to note that if you're a part of different networks or different PBXs, you can simply index them here. So maybe I'm part of different organizations, different PBXs, so I can go from my demo account to my actual GoTo account. And so that's available simply by clicking into here. We have an app switcher. So the nice thing in working with a more holistic provider, where we provide different business tools like GoToWebinar and GoToMeeting, those point solutions that are still available with us in the background, I can go right into those from my soft phone. So that's all available at your fingertips. And then lastly, just to touch on the settings here, one thing I want you to note that comes in super handy, when I go into my voice, I have my own, there's dial plans you create kind of organization level as what you want those call paths to be. But once it's delivered to your direct line, I can have my own little personal dial plan and what happens there, what's the experience. So maybe it rings my phone, maybe I want it to ring my cell phone as well, right? So I can add numbers. Maybe I want a little bit of intelligence as to who's calling me, so I can perform call screening. I can establish the ring time. If it's no answer, do I want it to try my cell phone then, or do I want it to go straight to voicemail? It's a VoIP-based solution, so what if that call fails? Do I want it to go kind of a failover to my cell phone. So you have all those options at the user level. All right, switching gears now, we're going to go into the administrative level, kind of what it looks like to get started. So we are at the administrative portal, admin.goto.com. And you can see here, you have your products. So again, I have centralized administration across all the products. So maybe I make sure as an administrator, everybody needs, you know, a UCAS solution, but then we discover someone needs Go to Resolve, the help desk needs Go to Resolve. I can simply turn on those licenses for that team. Or maybe the marketing manager needs Go to Webinar, I turn on licensing here. So you don't have to navigate to different portals as an administrator. It's all unified and centralized at admin.goto.com. So I can see my orders. Obviously, one of the first things you need to do is set up, you know, order new numbers or port them over. We have a setup team that kind of handholds all those types of efforts, but you know that's all managed as well through your administrative portal. And then system health. Another thing to keep in mind when you get started is just monitoring the quality. Our uptime, our SLA is 99.9995%, right? So, you know, we go back as far as the Jive days, and this is, you know, a proven solution, but nevertheless, you want to monitor it, monitor things like latency, packet loss, jitter. That can all be, you have that visibility here, as well as a watch list. Maybe you have C-level players that you want to make sure there's no surprises with them. So you can click in and watch that activity, and you can even click into a particular call journey and look at the legs of that call right from the view details section, right? So again, a lot of great things. We have 24/7 support, all these things to assist, but at the end of the day, we find a lot of administrators want these things self-serve, and that's what it provides. Other things, user groups, you know, these are things that give you the flexibility. You can customize, you can create groups, you can create roles and permissions that are specific to that group. Maybe you have a site leader, so they need administrative access for that particular site. You know, these are things that you have that flexibility to customize. And then the devices, this is where you would add devices. We take the MAC address and then the firmware is included if we're selling it to you directly. So it's really one touch as far as our distribution and getting connected. Super simple to get that activated. Our locations are E911 compliant now, right? For Kerry's Law and Raymond's Law, which requires administrative discretion as to what that location is going to be as a default versus, you know, what it's established at the DID level. It follows it down to the user and soft phone, so you know you have that compliancy. And then last but certainly not least, probably the most important is going into the phone system. This is where it gets more extensive, and you can see all the options here, and I'm certainly not going to go into every bell and whistle. But what I do want to show you is that dial plan editor. This is won awards. This is what really wins the hearts and minds of those supporting the user community day to day, and it almost gamifies the custom call routing. As you can see, you have these nodes here on the left, and it's a very visual experience. I simply drag and drop the nodes and connect the dots. It's like a sandbox. You can't screw up. If it doesn't connect, then you know you've done something wrong and you play around with it. But here's an example of a main line where it hits a schedule between open and closed, and then you have the auto attendant, and then you know the different departmental, the caller ID modified, so they know where it's coming from, and then you know you have direct lines. Like my friend Bill Bixby here, he's handled billing, but this care department, we have a particular queue for that. So that's all handled there. Our queues, like I also said, has intelligent call routing. So they can maybe want to, maybe it's multilingual. They want to hit 1 for Spanish, 2 for English, and it can all go into the same queue, but you assign your agents different skill sets. So, you know, it goes to them first. All right. I think do I have time for contact center? I think I do. Do I, Helene? I think I have a few minutes, right?
You do. You get a few
Awesome.
minutes.
All right, well, moving right along. Okay, our contact center. So again, it's baked in. You're not having to navigate to a different screen. And that's what's great. You click on the headset icon here. I wear different hats in my contact center. So I have agent, supervisor, admin. Um, so if I go in as an admin, if I were to get something going, I would add a call queue, and then the extension wizard's going to populate the next available extension, and then I'm going to name it, and then you're going to determine whether it's a basic or it's going to make use of that intelligent call routing. And that's for call queues. They can also set up chat queues. You have the regular SMS, MMS chat queue that they're receiving. We also support web pages. We have a widget. If you look at this, here's a mock-up example of a widget we provide on any website that handles web chat. So you can see how we're multi-channel now. It also supports Facebook and Instagram storefronts. And then going into settings at the admin level, again, I won't go through everything here, but just so you guys get a flavor. You have your ring strategy, right? What you want that experience to be. Giving your agents wrap up time. You can weight the queues if some queues are more important than others. And then getting in here a little lower, we see those highly sought after options like offering them a callback, letting them know and how long you're going to offer that callback. And then, estimated hold time. You can run a commercial like, have you visited our website? All those things that you're probably familiar with calling contact center. It's all here and at a very affordable level as part of GoTo Connect. Supervisors have kind of the bird's eye view. They can monitor things. They can look at queues. They can go into queues, monitor activity. They can log in agents. They can help train, right? They can listen, whisper, and barge. They can run wall boards to kind of monitor activity. They can launch campaigns. And that way, if you have maybe some idle agents that are not answering calls, they can put on their sales hat and they'll receive missed calls and recapture what would have been lost revenue. They'll get a pop-up that says it's calling from a campaign, a missed call campaign, and when they accept it, it'll call out to that missed call. All right. And then lastly, life as an agent itself. So I can go in, I can log into, I can establish my pause reasons. It's at the admin level, what they want to designate there beyond default. I can log into some, none, or all of these queues. And I can manage also both the inbound calling and the chat conversations as well. So here I have a running conversation. I have a conversation here. And again, this is where we get into omni-channel, where I can identify a someone who may have called in before, and I can look at their history and see what the outcome and disposition was of those conversations. Maybe it's better to just hop on a call together. I can call out to them. We can hop into a meeting space, so we have audio, web, video, and maybe they're stuck filling out, like a profile or an application online. We can co-browse that together, so I can better assist them. So we have all of that at our fingertips as well. Okay, lastly, I want to show the analytics. So one of the key ROI measures of investing in a contact center is the success of it, right? And so this is going to give you all those, KPI measures. How are the agents doing? Are they doing their job? Who's performing more than others? Between handled contacts, average talk time, total talk time, and what are those trends? Percentage of calls answered. So you have all this visibility from our new analytics page, as well as the queue caller. Calls over time, the duration of those calls, average time in queue, the classic things you're looking for to measure success. And then on the chat side, you have resolved conversations as well. I can even go into a particular conversation and understand what that conversation was. Here's one that was very short, but so you have all that available at your analytics page as well.